Before we get into the video, a few disclaimers. Number one, the timing is a bit off because I scripted this before the Conte to Spurs rumor even began. I recorded it in the middle of the Conte to Spurs saga, so some of the things had to be changed. And after recording, after picking up the right videos and putting them into a folder, I found out that that deal is off. So some of the things I said were in assumption that Conte would eventually end up at Spurs, which he didn't. So there's that. And number two, I got the audio setting wrong. So some of the audio may be a bit too uncrisp. So there's that. Those are the two things I want to say. Let's get into the video. I'm not going to waste more time. Antonio Conte has built up a reputation as somebody who can deliver a league title within a short space of time. He's done it at Juventus thrice. He's done it at Chelsea. And he's done it at Inter as recently as a month ago. And Tottenham Hotspur, who are currently linked with Antonio Conte, could be next in line to face a bit of Conte's magic. Yes, I know it's cringe, but I couldn't think of a better term, so just get along with it. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm just going to have a look at how Spurs squad look, according to how Conte typically lines up, how they fit in, and where they need to invest in basically. And these are the type of videos I want to do on a more regular basis, so if you like this type of content, don't forget to click like, click subscribe, turn on the post notifications, and all that good stuff. And yeah, let's get started. Before we get into the details, let's re-familiarize ourselves with how Conte usually sets his sides up. And for that, we'll use his 2016-17 Chelsea side, as well as his 2020-21 Inter Milan side. So his Chelsea side used more of a 3-4-3, while his Inter side used a 3-5-2. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm looking to fit players into those systems and test out the combinations, see if they could actually work on paper. Let's get right into it. Let's start with the obvious one. Harry Kane, Romelu Lukaku. Two complete forwards who are good at both goal scoring as well as creating chances for his other forward. And I'll go as far as saying both are joint second in terms of forwards in the world right now after a certain Robert Lewandowski. That's one piece sorted. Another piece, it's also pretty obvious, is Heung-min Son. Now this one parallels more with Hazard than Lautaro, but nevertheless a great finisher, lethal on the break, which is a big part of how Conte sets up, and I would say a better all-round player than someone like a Lautaro Martinez. And he links up really well with Harry Kane, so that's the second piece sorted. Obviously, I wouldn't say Conte at Spurs will be a good fit just because two players match how Conte usually sets up. Obviously, there's more. Let's get more into it. I feel like the fullback theory that I had kind of tipped me to make this video, because fullbacks are a big part of Conte's system. Alonso and Victor Moses were integral in that Chelsea title winning side, as well as Hakimi and whoever played on the left for Inter, whether it be Perisic, Ashley Young, or even Matteo Darmian, had impact on that title winning Inter side. Let's have a look at Spurs fullbacks. We have on the left Sergio Reguilon, Ben Davies, neither really convincing. On the right we have Sergio Aurier, who had a decent season but reportedly does not want to sign a contract extension with Spurs and wants to leave. So we will phase him out and we won't consider him. Then you have Matt Doherty, who just hasn't fit in at Spurs. Let's start with Matt Doherty. So prior to joining Spurs, Matt Doherty had two outstanding seasons at Wolves, scoring 4 goals in each of them, playing on the right side of a back three. Clearly a fullback that likes to cut inside, take shots, and be a threat in the box rather than stay wide. He also scored 4 in the Championship the season they got promoted. Now that resembles a certain Marcos Alonso, who scored 6 in the 16-17 season and 7 the season after. Moreover, their expected goal tallies are also quite similar, which means, yep, that's the third piece. Now let's move on to the left wing back position, and I feel like this is going to be the first position where I'm going to make a really controversial call. Now, as you recall, Spurs have 2 left backs, Sergio Reguilon, Ben Davies. You would assume Sergio Reguilon gets the nod because number one, he just signed from Real Madrid 1 summer ago, and number two, he's a better attacking fullback compared to Ben Davies. Now, I'll go as far as saying neither of them gets the nod. Either one or two things happen. Number one, Spurs go out and buy a proper left back for Conte, either Tagliafico, Grimaldo, you name it. Or number two, which I think is gonna be a more likely solution that Conte is gonna go for, is bring back Ryan Sessegnon. So Ryan Sessegnon is on loan at the moment, and I don't think he's played for Spurs in quite a while. He's been frozen out by Jose Mourinho. But I think Conte is going to bring him back, and I think Conte is going to make him a left wing back in that back five. Now, it looks unlikely, but Conte has a history of doing this. Because he did it with Victor Moses at Chelsea, he's done it with Ivan Perisic at Inter Milan. There's a pattern there. And I think Ryan Sessegnon, for a guy of his talent, I think Conte might bring him back, slot him into the left wing back slot, and he could have a really good season. Conte has a history with converting mid-tier attackers to really good fullbacks. So I'd say Sessegnon is the fourth piece. And I'm probably going to get a lot of stick for this. But guess what? I don't care. So I think it's a good time to take a step back from looking at individual players and try to theorize how Conte could set up his Spurs side as a whole. Now in goal, it's obviously Hugo Lloris, the captain. He's had a really good season or two, kind of rebuilt his reputation up after being labeled as a laughingstock for about the last 3 to 4 years. In the center of the defense, I think Alderweireld will get the nod, as he is the most experienced of the lot, as well as his ability in the air, as well as sometimes he is able to pick out a pass. On the right side, I think Tanganga will get the nod ahead of Eric Dyer, Joe Rodon, and Davinson Sanchez. Because number one, he's had experience playing right back, so he knows how to cover up the space well. And number two, I think he's a better 1v1 defender than all the other three. So I think Tanganga will get the nod as the first choice right centre back. On the left side, I think Spurs are going to go out buy someone. Because you see, in both of Conte's sides that we're using as a blueprint, they have one ball progressor from deep. Whether it be David Luiz at Chelsea or Alessandro Bastoni at Inter Milan. Spurs don't have a centre-back of that kind, so I think they're going to go out and buy someone who excels at ball progression from deep as a central defender. And it's okay if he's mediocre defensively because they have two other centre-backs. So that's good. And moving on to midfield, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg will be at the base of it, breaking up play, continue on the good work he's done in the 2020-2021 season. And beside him, we have Tanguy Ndombele, who can drive off the field as well as make up line-breaking passes, so he'll probably get the nod ahead of someone like a Winks. But obviously, if he doesn't match up to the fitness levels that Conte demands, there's always Harry Winks. Moving on, we have Matt Doherty plays on the right, Ryan Sessegnon on the left-hand side, Harry Kane and Heung-min Son up top. That's 10 out of 11 players. Obviously, we're missing one player, because I'm not sure who it's going to be. You see, this is where I got stuck in, because it could go both ways. Spurs could go out and get a creative midfielder, Eriksen, or they could play a third forward in the name of Steven Bergwijn or even Dele Alli. Now, if Gareth Bale comes back from Real Madrid, obviously it makes it easier. Bale plays on the right, a 3-4-3, sorted. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think Carlo Ancelotti will keep Gareth Bale at Real Madrid. So that leaves either Bergwijn or go get a central midfielder. Obviously, Bergwijn has a load of talent, but he's really underwhelmed in his time at Tottenham Hotspur. He hasn't really hit the heights that you thought he would. He has the potential to be a 10 to 15 goal season forward. He hasn't shown it so far. So we'll see what Conte does if he does come in. So my choice would be go signing someone like a Rodrigo De Paul and playing a 3-5-2. But that's just me. Then again, this whole video is just a wild imagination of me. So let's just play along, shall we? In conclusion, I don't really have much to say. The only thing I worry about is, right, I said about investing in a few areas. My worry is Daniel Levy will do the Daniel Levy thing and not put money out of his pocket. He's done it before with Poch. The thing is, Poch is actually good at working with what he's got, so he got away with it. With Mourinho, he invested quite a bit, but he didn't invest fully, and that kind of left him stranded for a bit. So, I don't know what's going to happen with Levi, and also the thing is with Harry Kane, there's that uncertainty there, so maybe he will leave regardless. I don't know. It's everything's a lot up in the air, so there are a lot of intangibles that could happen between now and if or when Conte is the manager of Tottenham Hotspurs. But until then, we'll see how it goes. Like, it's just a fun video to make because the theories are endless. Like, there are endless possibilities you could make up, and it makes sense in my head. That's it for the video. I'll stop waffling. You get on with your day, and yeah, that's about it. Don't forget to click like, share, subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you next video. I don't know when that's gonna be. Until then, take care, everyone.